Welcome, Chloe. Thank you so much for joining us today's event, Adorn. And as I've shared, this is a very dear mentor of mine. The first, and what I would say is just the most incredibly embodied priestess of the Magdalene Rose lineage. I've been very honored to be under her wing for maybe a few years now and have been introduced to the Venus cycle through Chloe. And so she has an incredible offering and just a beautiful connection to this lineage and really brings the feminine arts into her journey with Venus. So, Chloe, welcome, and I'd love for you to just share who you are with everyone, and yeah, just share this beautiful connection that you have with Venus.
So much, Lauren. Oh, I've lost my voice. I'm in the middle of creating so much beautiful material. I've got the Magdalene Festival, so I'm in a very deep, enriching cycle with Venus. So yeah, I'm Chloe, and I'm the founder of the Sacred Rose Mystery School, which is Sacred School of Mary Magdalene's teachings and gnosis, and the way of love, and really the Venusian energies. The rose and the communion with Venus is really a deep prayer and held intention of the mystery school. So, really, today I wanted to touch on how we can feel and commune with Venus as a sentient being, as the royal rose, as a lineage to root into our femininity, to root into our path as a priestess, as a woman, as a mother, as a living temple. And it really touched me to hear you say that we've been together for a few years, because it's such an experience and such a direct relationship that we build, and it's so alive, and yet sometimes it's kind of so intense, some of the journeys and some of the initiations, that you can look back and go, wow, it's actually 4 years ago, and look at this extraordinary journey of transformation that we've been on. So through me, I'd love to share my connection and maybe deeper purpose of bringing light, the rose mysteries of Mary Magdalene, to the feminine consciousness, to the feminine path. And I'd firstly like to just say that the priestess path really is a deep path of embodiment. It's a descent of the goddess. It's bringing the sacred back into life, and this is where Venus is almost like the sister to Earth. She's this guiding light to awaken humanity at this pivotal time. And many years ago, I asked, and I said, what is the relationship between Earth and Venus? Why am I so connected to Venus? I can feel a lot of Venusian rituals and rites, and I know we've personally spoken about this together. Definitely connected to what I would say the descent of Sophia. But what I find so deeply, touching about this path is that it really invites us to know thyself and to remember who we are, as opposed to learning and just receiving from someone, but actually embodying and receiving a transmission. And as I said, the relationship with Venus and the Earth is key to this transmission and understanding. So as I said a few years ago, I asked, maybe 10 years ago, I asked, what's the relationship between Earth and Venus? And I saw this incredible, deep, profound vision of the Earth, and in the center of the Earth being a womb, like a stargate, like this enigmatic pulse. And then I saw Venus, and I saw in the center of Venus that there was this connection, almost like this infinity symbol, this river, golden river, also with this deep pulse, but there was almost like a different frequency. And it was almost like it was guiding Earth in its ascension journey to remember, to feel the divine energies of the mother, the womb, where we came from and where we shall return. So this was my first kind of vision about, wow. So I have learned since with some beautiful astrologers the kind of Venus cycle, but my relationship and what I teach and impart and guide and transmit is actually a deeper relationship with Venus as a guiding light for humanity at this pivotal time. So Mary Magdalene, as a high initiate of Venus, was part of this incredible creation of the mythos of the descent of the goddess. So we hear this in the Sumerian, the Babylonian tablets of Inanna. We see it reflected in deep mythos of Persephone. Many traditions reciting and reminding us and guiding us back to this extraordinary blueprint of initiating through the feminine traditions. So from this relationship of realizing that there is a deep devotion between the relationship between Earth and Venus, and I'm talking on a cosmic level, and almost like a guiding light that Venus is emitting and guiding humanity and the collective and the earth toward a higher understanding of the feminine. We can then begin to understand perhaps why these myths, why these ancient legends are still alive and why they are so potent and important for the feminine, for women at this time. As you know, Lauren, the Sacred Rose Mystery School essentially is working with women. And so it's bringing back the sacredness of who we are. And therefore, then perhaps this can lead me on to how I would bring light to the Venus cycle currently. So going from understanding that Venus is a sentient being, there's a relationship between Earth and Venus. So it's not that we are saying we're a star being and we are from Venus and we're coming here, but we're actually reclaiming these ancient stories and goddess worship that are embedded and almost hidden and veiled within our culture, within the culture that we live in today. So we almost have this lineage and then rooting and understand that there's this incredible symbiotic relationship going on within this awakening of this time. And as I said, the lineage is really where Mary Magdalene comes in, and this great lineage of the holy bloodline, because they are high initiates that in the beginning of this epoch, for example, descended down through that choice of Sophia coming into form. So this incredible legend, the tale, the myth of Inanna, of Venus and the Rose Mysteries, is the most extraordinary initiatory path and guide for us. It's alive. It's almost like taking us to an alive place of knowing thyself by creating this beautiful sanctuary or inner sanctum space for us to walk the ceremonial path. So Venus has now been reborn as the evening star, and the transformational journey and just watching it from where we are on the earth is really quite extraordinary. And how I see it, it's almost like our inner deeper selves, our souls, the high initiates of our family and the great lineage are passing us always this gift. I see a rose, it's like gifting us this extraordinary map and blueprint of stepping further into remembering who we are, reclaiming it and feeling the sacred within as a devotional holy sacrament in our own personal lives and then in our service work. So now as this incredible evening star, she brings in a very specific energy. And this particular cycle begins in early August. I'm going to be beginning a program on the 29th of July, so it's before the exact. And she's going through a beautiful 7 initiatory journey with the moon every month. As you know, Lauren, this is what I call the rose gates. And how I name, anyway, the Venus rose path is the path of the royal rose, the queen. And this is really where we embrace all the cycles of the rose that we are within us. And with that journey of initiation, we are gifted with remembering where we belong, feeling deeply worthy of purifying, coming into right relationship with ourselves, with our lives, with our destiny, and knowing thyself. It really is so simple. Because of them being mystery traditions, as in the whole Venus cycle, I see it as a teaching and a mystery tradition and a lineage and a heritage. We're connecting into the mysteries, and they are illuminating at this time the ancient prophecy that Mary Magdalene would return at this time. And so I feel that through Venus, she's bringing us back our roots, our anchor as women. She's creating the most incredible capacity for us to open into initiation, through trust, softening into that true feminine energy. And so therefore she is one of these high initiates that are here at this time guiding many of us, hence why there is many of us talking about Mary Magdalene and restoring these legends, restoring her true story through us. Another piece before I go into the 7 initiations around Venus is that she's also bringing light to all of the kind of hidden, veiled parts of the feminine that have been lost over time. And as a priestess, as a holy vessel, we are here to reclaim them and to rebirth these stories through us, through our wombs, through our hearts. And I feel that the Venus cycle for women, especially, for example, if we take the 7 months that are going to begin in August to February, this is an extraordinary journey to go within, firstly, and to receive 7 rites, keys, that essentially are a whole initiation of love to deepen our spiritual awareness, for growth, to blossom, and to heal. Just finally, the 7 initiations that I work with are the 7 sacred roses of God, the Garden of Eden. And so what this is doing is almost threading each one of us back to the center of our own beautiful, bountiful inner garden. And that's the mythos that I focus on. I obviously weave in gorgeous traditions and stories that we have here, but I also receive quite a lot of downloads that kind of open it up and create space for each one of us to live our own way of love and to create our own book of love. However, within those initiatory energies of what Mary Magdalene and the Venus cycle, the celestial dance of her energies, are bringing for us at this time. So these 7 rose gates that you receive each month anchor us deeper into the earth, deeper into that remembrance that the roots and the womb of the earth are holding our physical body, supporting us to come into that deep remembrance that our body has these extraordinary magical elementals and a deep longing to connect with the body, with the physical as sacred, as a temple. And this relationship then with Venus and how this can support us and guide us. Within the 7 initiation journey with the roses, this cycle, we're going to be on the ascent journey. So each of the 7 temples or 7 paths each month are going to be building up to crowning, receiving the seven roads crown. And in that particular journey, we'll be getting a closer feel into, I'll be guiding this, of our internal sensual energies, of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and therefore opening up this gorgeous river of life force within us. So it's a very deeply healing feminine initiatory journey that at the end you will receive obviously each of the vestments, but also your crown, your rose crown, and then a seal of honor that will ground you into your internal inner garden, which is really where the fruits and the blossom and the deep purification takes place, because this is our anchoring. It's where our chalice resides and where our power, creativity, our wisdom is always waiting for us to say hello.
It's beautiful. I know that there are women who have been initiated into the rose lineage that have not journeyed with Venus, and for anyone that's holds that strong connection to the rose lineage, I would just highly recommend enriching your own process and deepening into the medicine of the rose through this particular journey, because it just, I don't know, it awakened for me. I think really it was through this Venus journey that
Mm.
things really began to sort of land for me. I remember when I started uh, working with you, I felt you have just this beautiful, poetic, mystical, cosmic way of writing. And I remember just saying, I'm like, I don't know if I even understand what you're saying, and having gone through, several cycles or years with you, it's all been landing over time, and I was wondering if you might speak to, I don't know if this is really necessarily important, but I remember you saying that you like to begin the journey with the ascent. And that is how I worked with you. And it was interesting. So, this was my first sort of experience journeying with Venus through the ascent. And then shortly thereafter, we went into the descent. And that was a revelation for me. Magic, every gateway, every rose gate, it was
Mm.
amazing, what was revealed and refined, and as we've spoken, I feel this really strong connection with the Essene lineage and this Venus process, because I feel like it's another way of purification. It's like a purification rite. It's, as you said, it's sort of bringing us back to that wholeness. And so I love the imagery that you brought in with that infinity symbol between Earth and Venus. And I feel like that energy is sort of like this cleansing, this purifying, this nurturing, just remolding and shaping women, from the inside out through that healing and blossoming that you said. It's just so lovely. And working with Chloe is pretty magical. I also want to say that throughout the years, there were maybe things that she said that, like, even a year later or months later, were so relevant and real for me, or vice versa, like things that I was feeling she would then say. I think that you hold such um a strong frequency for your intention in working with the feminine mystery arts, and each woman that you work with, that there is just this alchemy, this chemistry, and there's a lot of magic I feel that happens in the containers that you offer, that I can vouch for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can really feel it through my body, and then it makes me feel extremely touched and emotional, really, because it's every moment is magical because it's alive. It's I'm
Mhm.
really coming from a place of being initiated through something, a very human initiation during my life.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so I never had the intention to be doing this because I wanted to be a priestess or I wanted to be working with the Venus. It never was that. It was just like, this is your calling, this is your purpose. And really strongly within me, beyond the eye, is a devotion, a really deep devotion, and a strong guiding light of Mary Magdalene and Yeshua.
Mhm.
And I feel like this really, I suppose, in essence, is where the work is coming from. And I really, yeah, I'm very passionate about women coming back into their bodies, really, and really remembering how precious and beautiful they are.
Mhm.
And so the feminine arts really facilitate this, as well as learning ancient traditions and, you know, all this gorgeous content and stories and legends. It's really full, but deep within that, I feel that each woman really is longing to belong, to return home. And I feel that's really, if I was to come back to the simplicity of the work or why I'm doing what I'm doing, it is that because I was offered an initiation in this lifetime, as I'm sure many of us have, that really only gave me that as an option
Mm. Mm.
in thyself and beginning the alchemical journey of the beloved within.
Mm.
And so, going back to your question about the ascension journey, as part of the school, there's a kind of integral years path that gives quite an overview of the rose path following the Magdalene map. And then after, I started to create a deepening for those who were really ready and felt called, and a devotion to deepen their priestess work. So we began a Magdalene mastery program that coincided with the Venus cycle, or I saw the Venus cycle going, and then I was like, right, let's do this. And so for me, what it was is like we almost received this extraordinary anointment of light through the seven gateways. As I said, this communion. We receive the light initiation each month, which are the ones that are going to be in the program in July. And we came together in a Magdalene circle, and we went through purification. We went through deep remembering and opening to trust. But the energies were different, and they really are holding a lot of light and fruitfulness. And then we went into the descent journey together, and we were all really ready. I felt like all of us were really ready, and we were stepping into a new level, a new ceremonial journey in our lives in service to the goddess. So even within the kind of extremes that came, or the deep changes in alchemy, we were really ready and holding one another in that process. And so that's maybe more to do with it than actually whether you begin in the ascent journey or the descent. Because traditionally, you begin as Venus descends down
Mhm. Yeah.
in the morning star. We say traditionally, but really, at this time, I feel that we're in a deep moment of change where we really have to be guided by what is right for us at the time, and to perhaps bring back these ancient traditions, but remember that we are alive now.
Mhm.
It's like at the moment in the Tor in Glastonbury, this extraordinary ancient alive temple where there are vortices and energies and deep memories. At this moment, as Venus is going to be rising as the evening star, there is this extraordinary mystery opening around the seven seals. So it's like, therefore, that is then informing this particular Venus journey as to who will be encircled together during that journey. So, who the inner Magdalene circle is, and it's all divinely guided, all divinely timed for everybody. Um, but the deep essence of what I feel the Venus cycle really brings to women is this deep belonging,
Mhm.
coming home, and nourishing, and also providing some really beautiful rose priestess practices, tools, reflection, soul inquiry into how to apply this in our lives, how to apply the feminine rose healing breath to any contraction in the body, any memories that could rise that maybe bring up trauma. And this is where we take it into our own life and our ceremonially guided lives and make it real, bring the magic back into now. So I think that that particular moment for you and our group as a Magdalene Mastery initiation, it was imperative that we went in to the ascension journey first.
Yeah. I one of the things that I wanted to share that I really love about your it's really a masterful way of teaching, because the embodiment of the feminine really comes forward when you allow women to sort of find the truth for themselves. And so often we're in containers where we're offered lots of information and tools and strategies, and this is the how and the why. Um, and
Mm.
and that's, we're so enmeshed in that way of being, primarily, and so it's so refreshing and also so um, different and challenging too, to be able um, to find the answers and learn how to go deep within. And I love how you really do guide women in that way. And it's, I think for me, it kind of took a while because I wasn't used to learning that way, definitely growing up in the, more Piscean, like you have the guru, they tell you how, and this is the way you do it. There's so much liberation and freedom in the feminine mystery arts to allow you to deeply feel into your own self, where you start to um, like that rose starts to unfurl and it starts to show you your own wisdom and power and love, and it is unique for every woman, like you said. So to bring women home to that is just really priceless, and it is a journey. It is a journey, it's an initiation, and it's life changing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm so thankful and grateful that this ended up being your calling, that you were charged with the the mission to, yeah, bring this work to women and help them find their way back home. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Hmm.
you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to maybe just share with everyone before we sign off?
Yeah. Um, so just going back to what you're saying about how, there is this kind of newer soul-based education way of experiencing who you are. And again, going back to the ascension journey of Venus and the seven sacred roses, each of these rose gates are going to be bringing us back to our inner temple and to those extraordinary life currents that I spoke about within. And within our inner temple, within the currents that run through us, everything that we are, everything we need is there. And so when you're speaking, I was taken to the temples of Delphi, the oracular temples, where really it was about the feminine and her relationship to the divine within her, to source. And then through the feminine body, and I'm talking about the physical, bringing that into form. So each of us have a different female body, all as beautiful as one another. And what's extraordinary when you begin to see and visualize this, and this is what I see when I'm working with women, is that all that we awaken, so if you're going through the 7 journeys, you're awakening the different qualities of that beautiful life force or serpents. And you have a month to be with that, to awaken it, to initiate through it. And essentially to begin to see, how does my creative energy, how do these gifts come forth as an expression, as my purpose? So you can see already that's a very different way and focused than traditionally what's kind of out there in this world. It's feeling and loving and exploring and bringing light to this energy, because everything that we need within us is here in the body. And as I was going to say, is that from a visionary self, each woman has a different way that this energy comes out. Literally, I can see it as light and codes and energy and sound, and it's from the shape and the consciousness of the body and the soul. Literally, it's so beautiful. So this to me is the new education. It's the new way, and the Venus traditions and the lineage really are a guiding light. And I really am so grateful for this to be here. And I invite all that feel the calling to deepen into who they are, to their purpose, to their gifts, to open their hearts and to receive the beauty of who you are, the beauty of life, and all the incredible possibilities, potentialities that exist. And I suppose on my parting, I would say, if we're awakening that inner energy, those sacred currents within us, animating our life force, this only takes us to one place, and that is the holiest of the holies within. So traditionally in temples in Egypt and in the Celtic lands in France, where Mary Magdalene spent many years sharing her teachings, there were always 7 initiations to come back to that holiest of the holy within. So this is really a divine journey with thyself, returning back home and just allowing that to be part of a reality, and to bring back the magic, bring back the choice to reclaim, really is what I'd like to complete on, that is there for all of us. And if you feel the calling and an excitement or even a fear, receive and open, because it is time. It's time for the lights of our divinity to come together.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Chloe. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you.